Hello, welcome to Bored and Confused, where I review shows based on two criteria. One, was I bored? Two, was I confused? Today, we're going to review the whole 2023-24 Broadway season, but in particular, the Tony Awards, which I just watched last night. Award shows, in my opinion, are not about awarding artistic excellence. They're about marketing. So when you look at what gets nominated and what wins award, you always have to keep in mind that, especially with the Tonys, which is a very small industry compared to film and television, is that we're marketing the Broadway brand. That is the purpose of the Tony Awards. So I'm going to be talking about it through that lens. There were 39 shows in the 2023-2024 Broadway season, 15 new musicals, 11 new plays, 6 revivals of musicals, and 5 revivals of play, and 2 other. The 2 other were El Mago Pop, which was just on Broadway for 10 days. I don't even know what it was. And Melissa Etheridge's Come to My Window, which I did see, and it was fantastic. I saw 32 of the 39 shows that were on Broadway this season. 2 of them I will have to watch at the Lincoln Performing Arts Center, which is Jaja's African Hair Braiding, which was closed in the fall season, and Mother Play, which just closed. The other shows I've yet to see, which I hope to see in the next few weeks, is Hell's Kitchen, Who's Tommy, The Wiz, and An Enemy of the People. And once I've seen those, I will have seen all of the season. Since the Tony Awards really only exist to market the Broadway brand, they tend to give preference to shows that are currently running because they want to sell tickets. The Tonys also want to market themselves as a very diverse group of artists, which as they should, because the Broadway community is a very diverse community. But you'll see this reflected in the award nominations and in the winners, that they try to spread the wealth not only to different shows, but they also like to spread it to actors of different ages, different races, different gender identities. And I won't get into it here, but there is a question to be made as to why there's a Best Actor and Best Actress categories when actors really do the same job and there's no real reason for them to be gendered. I think that's just a construct of the society that we live in, and gender is so important. But I'll save this rant for another episode. I've spoken a little bit about this in my review of Illinois, but I find it so interesting that a show like Alex Edelman's Just for Us is in the new play category, whereas Melissa Etheridge's show is other. Alex Edelman's show is where he talks about experiences in his life and it's funny, and Melissa Etheridge talks about experiences in her life and plays songs. Why isn't Melissa Etheridge a new musical if Just for Us, which is really stand-up comedy storytelling, why is that considered play? I think they're both other. And I also think Illinois fits in another category. And interestingly enough, Alex Edelman got a special Tony Award for his play, Just for Us, which was excellent. And I believe it's available on HBO. Check it out, it's really good. Another thought about the Tony Awards is I'm always a little irked that there are 11 awards that are not in the main broadcast and are done kind of as a pre-show. And among those is Best Writing of a Book in a Musical and Best Score. Come on, give the writers their due. If there were no writers, there would be no shows. Also, it's very interesting when you talk about terms Best Musical, Best Play. What the award is really for is Best Production of a Musical and Best Production of a Play. Although the difference here is that Best Musical, you can still get an award for the writing. So it's, in a way, it's separated. Best Musical is Best Production of a Musical, whereas the Best Musical is really whoever wins the Best Score and the Best Book award, right? Now, play is a little different because there's not an award for Best Script of a Play. There's just Best Play. So when someone wins Best Play, they're basically winning Best Writer and Best Production of a Play. Is that fair? I don't know. Now I want to talk about the performances, which is what we really watch the Tonys for. We want to see the advertisements for the show. And I want to talk about some of the ones that I thought were very successful. The opening number of the Tonys, sung and danced and performed impeccably by Ariana DeBose. I thought the song was well written. I thought the choreography was great, which was done by Ariana and a collaborator. I thought the lyrics were really good, but it was a little kind of laid back, kind of like cool and sexy song, which isn't as great as a big, funny, splashy Broadway style opening number. But I thought the song was good. I thought it sounded great. The dancers looked great. It was a great number, but I don't know if it was the best opening number for an award show. I thought Illinois, what they showed, was great. I saw the show and I was a little critical in my review, but the close-up of the dancers' faces and all the emotion I was really seeing in their faces really added a lot. They also presented a nice, concise moment where we saw the love story between the two men, and we saw the love story between the man and the woman, and we saw this love story between the friends. Cabaret. I talked about Eddie Redmayne's performance in my review, and it's a little crazy, but I gotta be honest, in this Tony performance, he was full-on wackadoo, but it was really enticing. I found that I was really drawn into this performance that they did in the Tonys because it just really intrigued me about the production. And then they did the overhead shot so that we could see the round stage. Just really cool. And I loved how the actors were in your face. I've already seen the show, but watching the Tony performance kind of made me want to see it. Hell's Kitchen had 8 minutes, whereas most shows have maybe 2.5 to 3 minutes. 8 minutes of Hell's Kitchen. They must have spent a lot of money to advertise this show on the Tonys. And I haven't seen the show, and from the songs that they sang, I had no idea really what the show was about. It was just people singing covers of Alicia Keys songs with really cool arrangements and really great vocals. Maybe that's what they're selling, but I wish there would have been some kind of narrative element to it so that I could contextualize these songs. And then Alicia Keys comes on and plays the piano, and we know she's not in the show, so this is just star power on display at the Tony Awards. Stereophonic. I haven't posted this review yet, but I've recorded it and I'll post it soon. I loved this play. So I was a little disappointed by the 1.5-minute presentation they did of just a part of this song from the show. The way they were put on the stage is not how they are in the play. It's strange to do a song from Stereophonic because the songs themselves aren't advancing the plot of the show. It's the interaction between the actors within having to record these songs in the studio. So watching that, I was like, I got no sense of how amazing, this play is amazing, but I got no sense of how amazing it really is from the presentation they did. Water for Elephants, I thought did a great job of showing what are the highlights of the show, which is the acrobatics and this kind of folksy Dust Bowl music, which I thought sounded great in this performance. The energy was fantastic. They did the most exciting number from the show, which is The Road Don't Make You Young, which has all the cool acrobatics in it. So I thought that was a really great choice. And if I hadn't seen the show already, seeing this makes me want to see it. The Outsiders performance for me was a little strange because it started out with the opening number and then it went into this number that this character who was nominated for a Tony sings. But then it went into this fight scene, which is directorially, the lighting, the rain, the choreography is all really cool, but they're all kind of like technical elements. And the same thing happens, I'll talk about this when I post my review of The Outsiders, but it's so strange to me to end with people all bloodied and fighting, and then we applaud that. And we're like, yes, people hurting each other. I thought what they presented looked cool, but I don't know if it really made me want to see the show. I thought the song that Merrily We Roll presented, Old Friends, is great. It shows off the main 3 actors that we see in the show. We see their personalities. It's a great song. So I thought that was a good choice. And that's the number I think they've been doing at other press junkets. So it's a good number to sell the show. I think Suffs was also wise to choose their closing song because it's very inspirational. This song for me was most important because it's talking about the importance of voting. And this song, Keep Marching On, is really talking about how we have to fight to change. Hillary Clinton introducing the show and talking about change really set that up. So I thought Suffs really did a great job with the number they chose to perform at the Tony Awards. I think that's all the performances. Maybe I missed one. If I did, probably meant it didn't stick in my mind. Some other moments that I really liked were the speeches by Jonathan Groff's speech was really touching. Keisha Lewis's speech was fantastic. Will Brill, he's just so fun. I was really happy to see that he got recognition for playing that fantastic role. Okay, now I'm gonna look at some of the shows that were nominated, and for the most part, I think they did a good job of spreading the wealth. The one show that I really felt needed a little more love was The Great Gatsby, because I really loved the show. And it was also a score that was written by a musical theater team and not pop music writers. So now I'm going to go through all the awards and give my 2 cents on who won the award, who I thought should have won it, who won it, and why I think they won it. So let's start with Best Musical. The winner was The Outsiders. I guessed this one wrong. I guessed Hell's Kitchen, but I had not seen Hell's Kitchen. I felt that this season of musicals, none of them really swept me away. There was a lot of good shows, but ironically, the show I liked the most, which was The Great Gatsby, was not even nominated. So I guessed Hell's Kitchen, having not seen it, because I was a little lukewarm on all the other ones. The Outsiders, you can watch my full review of that, which I'll post shortly. I think it won mainly because the direction is really cool. This director does a lot. It's just visually very stunning. It sounds great. It looks great. You can see the director's hand in the show. And I think that's really what pushed it over the edge. Interesting to note that for the Drama Desk Awards, a Broadway show didn't win Best Musical. An Off-Broadway show won, Dead Outlaw, which I did not see, but hopefully they'll bring it to Broadway. The Best Play winner went to Stereophonic. I absolutely agree with this. There's no stars in the show. I mean, the stars are the actors. There are stars now, in my eyes. These actors play instruments, they act, they do dialects, they are on drugs, then they're sober. It's a wild ride, and it is a great theater, and go see it. Best Revival of a Musical went to Merrily We Roll Along, which I agree with 100%. I love when a show that flops the first time can come back and be a huge hit. This is what revivals are for, and I think this is well-deserved. Best Revival of a Play went to Appropriate, which I also agree with 100%. This is a great production. I loved every second of it. There's some great performances in it. The show looked great. It's been extended, moved to another theater. This is a huge hit, and you gotta go out and see it before it closes. The winner for Best Performance of a Leading Actress in a Musical went to Malaya Joel Moon. I did not see her performance, so I don't really have any comments. My vote was really for Marianne Plunkett in The Notebook, because I just loved her, and I wanted to give some love to The Notebook, because I was like, I don't think they're gonna get much love anywhere else. So for marketing reasons, I could have seen that. But you know, Hell's Kitchen only ended up winning, I think, 2 awards. So good that they spread that out. Also, we have some diversity in the winners, which is great. Best Performance of a Leading Actress in a Play went to Sarah Paulson. Agree 100%. She is giving a terrific performance, and she deserves this 100%. Interesting to note that in that category was also Amy Ryan for Doubt as Sister Aloysius, and she was replaced for Tyne Daly. Just to go to show that this is one of those roles that if you play Sister Aloysius in Doubt, you will get a Tony nomination. The thing about the Tonys and people who win awards, I feel like it is really the role that wins an actor an award. There are tons of great actors who want to be on Broadway, but there's only a limited number of shows that they can be in. If a writer writes a role that just has the dynamic breadth that an actor really needs to sail, they're guaranteed a nominee. And we know what these roles are, at least in music theater. If you play Mama Rose in Gypsy, you're gonna get nominated, and you'll probably win a Tony. Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof, Sweeney Todd and Mrs. Lovett. The MC or Sally Bowles in Cabaret. Anita in West Side Story is another one. If you do Doubt, a parable, those roles of Father Flynn and Sister Aloysius, you're gonna get a Tony nomination, because they're powerhouse roles where any actor worth their salt is gonna be able to give a great performance and get a nomination. Best Performance for a Leading Actor in a Musical went to Jonathan Groff, which I also agree with 100%. He's been around for a bit, and he's fantastic in this show, and everyone loves some Groff sauce. So I think this was well-deserved. Best Performance of a Leading Actor in a Play went to Jeremy Strong. I guessed this just having not seen the show, because I just heard such great things about him. So I can't really comment on this, but it seemed like a foregone conclusion, so yay. Again, Liev Schreiber, nominated for Doubt, one of those roles that if you get that role, probably gonna get a nomination. Interesting to note that most of the plays are going to be closed by the end of this month. So it does help to have your show currently running, which only An Enemy of the People and Patriots are still running, but Patriots closes at the end of the week, and so does Enemy of the People. So it was really just between those two. Doubt, Pearly Victorious, Uncle Vanya have all closed. And the irony is that it's only open one more week, but it helps to still have your show open. Winner for Best Performance of a Featured Actress in a Musical went to Keisha Lewis. Again, I did not see Hell's Kitchen, but I know I've seen Keisha Lewis's work. She's been on the boards for many, many years, and I thought it was about time for her to win, so this felt correct. I thought her speech was wonderful, so kudos to her. Best Performance by a Featured Actor in a Play went to Kara Young, which is surprising because the play is already closed. But let's look at the other nominees. Doubt already closed. Stereophonic still open. Mother Play closed. So the only competition she really had was Stereophonic. But I think, again, the awards is about marketing, and I think they wanted to spread the love. Not to say that Kara wasn't amazing in the show, but all of these actors are amazing in the show. And it really just boils down to the marketing of it. And Pearly Victorious is playing on PBS now, so even though it's closed, it does live on. So I think it's great that she got that award. Best Performance by a Featured Actor in a Musical went to Daniel Radcliffe. I expected him to win. This wasn't personally my choice for the Best Featured Actor in a Musical, but I understand why Daniel won. He's a movie star who has come to Broadway several times, and I feel like the Academy just wanted to give him a big thank you for bringing your star power to our little theater and selling tickets. Is that cynical? I thought he was great in the role, but some of these other performances that were nominated, I thought, were bringing a new angle to a role, whereas I felt with Merrily Roll Along, you know what? I'm not gonna get into it. Just watch my review of Merrily Roll Along, which set some people off. Best Performance by a Featured Actor in a Play went to Will Brill, which is absolutely my choice. When I saw Stereophonic, I thought the entire cast was amazing, but specifically the role that Will plays has a really huge dynamic to it. He's, of all the other characters, he's probably the one that gets the most high and then gets the most sober and has love come and go. His journey through this play is really a roller coaster. But honestly, it could have gone to any of the nominated actors. It could have gone to any of the actors in this play that weren't nominated, because they're all excellent. And I thought it was great that Will had everyone in the cast stand up, because this really is an ensemble piece. Best Original Score went to Shaina Taub, who wrote Suffs, and I feel like this is correct. I was really worried that Stereophonic would win Best Score. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Stereophonic, and I think the songs are really good in the show, but it's not a musical. The songs in Stereophonic are not functioning to move the narrative forward. They could be singing any song in Stereophonic, because it's not about the song, it's about the people who are recording the song. So yes, the writer did a great job of writing songs that's in the style of Fleetwood Mac that allow the actors to have that conflict. I'm so glad that it went to Shaina, because of these writers, only Shaina and Adam Gettle are true, what I would call theater writers. That's primarily what they do. You know, David Byrne and Fatboy Slim aren't really theater writers. The Jamestown Revival for The Outsiders, again, they're not primarily theater writers, at least not that I'm aware of. I wished Gatsby would have been nominated in there, because those are professional theater writers, and I thought they did a good job. I would have nominated Gatsby over Stereophonic. Best Direction of a Musical went to Danya Taymor. Now, for me, it was between Danya Taymor and Maria Friedman. I went with Maria Friedman just because the amazing success that Merrily We Roll Along is having after having been a flop. You have to attribute some of that to the director. But I think the voters went for the more flashy direction that you see in The Outsiders, as opposed to the nuanced, subtle direction of Merrily We Roll Along, which is what Maria really brought to it. And Maria does a 92nd Street Y interview with Jonathan Groff, hosts it, and it's a great watch. I tagged it in my review of Merrily Roll Along. If you want to get inside a director's head, watch that. It's really great. But I thought The Outsiders, one of the main things it had going for it was the direction. The director had some really strong concepts, and they were visually arresting. So I think that's a well-earned award. And also, we want to spread out these awards. Best direction of a play went to Danya Aukin for Stereophonic. Absolutely, 100%. It is the best new play on Broadway. Hands down. You can't even argue with me on this. Oh, although, let me say, because it's best director, it also includes revivals. All of these directors were great. Kenny Leon, Anna Kaufman, Leila Neubauer for Appropriate was excellent. And Whitney White for Jaja's African Hair Braiding, which I didn't see, but I'm gonna go watch that at Lincoln Center. Best sound of design and musical went to The Outsiders. I don't know, its show sounded great, but I had trouble understanding the lyrics. So I don't know if I agree with that one, but it seems like they're giving The Outsiders a lot of technical awards, so have at it. Best sound design of a play went to Stereophonic, which I see because it is cool the way we hear the audio in the recording booth and the audio outside the recording booth. So it feels very real and yeah, so it's a good job. And the fact that there's so much overlapping and speaking in that play that it requires good sound design. Best lighting design of a play went to Appropriate. Yeah, I guess that one because a lot of the play takes place in very early hours of the morning with lamps on. There's moments in that play where it's a little dark and hard to see if you're sitting far away, but it all feels very authentic to the time and the place. Best lighting of a musical went to The Outsiders. Again, let's give The Outsiders all the technical awards because they're gonna win Best Musical and we gotta justify it because they're not gonna win Best Book and Best Score. So let's give them all the technical elements and say, go see The Outsiders because theatrically it's technically really cool. Best scenic design of a play went to Stereophonic. Sure, I love everything about Stereophonic is the realism, and this recording studio functions great for this play. It all takes place in this one set, and it's a beautiful set. Best choreography went to Justin Peck. Sure, it's a dance musical, so if they're not gonna give it Best Musical, which they shouldn't, let's give it a Best Choreographer award because Justin Peck is the whole reason why the show even exists. So by giving him the award, it's gotten all the awards it needs. Best Scenic Design of Musical went to the Kit Kat Club, the Cabaret. Of course, they completely redesigned the set. It could have also gone to Here Lies Love. They did a similar thing to Cabaret where they just completely reworked the theater. But Here Lies Love has closed, Cabaret is still open. Let's give it to the open show. Best orchestrations went to Jonathan Tunick, Merrily Roll Along. This is kind of giving him his due because when he originally wrote Merrily Roll Along, there wasn't a best orchestration category, so he couldn't have won then. So they're giving it to him now, say thank you for your service in the theater. Best costume design of a musical went to The Great Gatsby. Thank God The Great Gatsby won their one nomination because it's a great show and it should have been nominated for set and lighting and a lot of other technical elements. It's a big splashy Broadway musical. Give it some love. Best costume design of a play went to Jaja's African Hair Braiding. Didn't see it. I'll go see it and I'll enjoy the costumes. Best book of a musical went to Shaina Taub. Sure, sounds correct to me. The only show I didn't see was Hell's Kitchen. I thought all of these shows had issues with the book, as you'll see in my reviews. I had some confusion with most of these shows. My confusion with Suffs, though, was less about the book as just the cyclical nature of the narrative. But given the other categories, sure, give it to Suffs. Give it to Shaina. She can have 2 Tonys to hold up books. She can have 2 bookends. All right, that's all the awards that were given out to the Tonys last night. If you disagree with me on anything, please comment below. If you agree with me, please comment on that as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I watched a lot of these shows. I told you I saw like 33 of the 39 shows. I recorded reviews for most of them. I just haven't gotten around to editing them. If there's any show that you really want me to post, I will do that. I had someone ask me to do The Outsiders, and I saw that a couple nights ago, so I'm gonna post The Outsiders soon. All right, thanks for watching.